Hey everybody, it's Saturday. It is the 15th day of August. And I want to say hi again. Thank you for allowing me into your space, wherever that might be, where you are reading devotions and giving thanks to our awesome God. Today's reading, we're continuing on in the same pattern, so we're kind of just going through the book of Psalms, and we're also in Romans again. So we're on Psalm 91 through Psalm 93. And I found it interesting, verses 13 through 17, I guess. And you might not have this in your study guide or your footnotes, but these contemplations, these things that the psalmist was speaking of and contemplating, actually drove him to his knees in prayer. And I wonder how many times we actually are humbled enough to take that position in prayer. I know oftentimes we sit at the dinner table and you pray, or you're just alone, maybe laying in bed and you pray, and not that God doesn't want you to be comfortable, but how many times has the prayer really been so heartfelt that it just literally drops you to your knees? And I think a lot of times it is, particularly with our petitions, when we're really earnestly seeking something that, would be very good and beneficial and we really want to do, and Lord, let this be your will. And we often kind of, we don't want to plead with him, but we want to petition him in prayer and supplication. And so I found that pretty interesting. And then again, still in 91, verse 5 talks about being afraid, and afraid of the arrow that flies by day, or the pestilence that lies in the dark. Now, pestilence, I'm thinking back to Exodus. How many plagues did they endure? I mean, that was pestilence. And so it's kind of a metaphor. It's like the pestilence that the Hebrews endured, the locusts, the flies. And my footnote says that at that time, disease was very common, particularly leprosy in the Middle East. And we see disease in everyday life. There's probably not one of you that are watching that has not in some way, some form been touched by cancer. We're all touched by this whole COVID thing. It's just, again, a lot of these things we don't find shocking because we're living through the very same things today. And still in 91, verse 11 and 12. Anybody recognize that? He shall give his angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways. In their hands they shall bear you up, lest you dash your foot against a stone. That's the same words that Satan used to trip Jesus up. Well, go ahead. You won't get hurt. His angels will be with you. So it's interesting how the Bible is so uniform in that respect. It's all built upon each other. It's not in error in any way. It's just all those things you can relate to some other passage, some other writer, someone else who is moved by the Holy Spirit, because that's ultimately how the words were written. And all for God's glory. I didn't find anything particular through Psalm 92 or 93 that we haven't already discussed, that being rejoicing, praising, in all things giving glory unto the Lord himself. Not to bring it upon ourselves, but to, again, jumping to Romans, to love our neighbor, to be harmonious with them, and not to do anything to cause them to stumble. In all of these things, in all of our daily walks, in all of our activities, no matter who it is we encounter, we are to model a Christ-like behavior. And It's not always easy to do, but was it always easy for Jesus when he walked this earth? Of course not. He endured persecution, slander. People tried to judge him. They tried to, just think about how his walk was here on this earth. It was not pain-free. There were times when he got angry, and he went through every single emotion that we deal with today. So don't feel alone in your struggles, in your trials. You have to know that you can actually talk to the one who's already gone through all these things. And isn't that what we want for our children and our grandchildren and for our friends? We want to be able to share our experiences that we have had with them for that purpose, because we've gone through them for a reason. So I want you to have a blessed day and just let